So most of you guys who are probably watching this video would know that I am a massive Star Wars fan. I absolutely love Star Wars. Ever since I was a kid, I have been obviously a massive Revenge of the Sith fan, it being probably my favorite movie. And I think one thing that I love not only about that movie, which includes obviously Natalie Portman, I mean, I would do anything for Natalie Portman. Like, if I had to sell my left nut for Natalie Portman, my right nut's probably getting sold too, just for reinsurance that I'm going to be able to make this thing happen. Again, other than Natalie Portman and my insane crush on her, I obviously really love Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker. I thought his acting in the first quarter of the movie, I get why some people judge it and may not particularly like it, but it's no doubt that his acting as Anakin, especially like with the transition to Nightfall Vader, Darth Vader, is absolutely exceptional. And I mean, the guy like screams the dark side of the Force. And one thing really interesting about Hayden Christensen is he's actually been doing a ton of interviews and press recently for some reason. I'm not too sure why, considering I don't think he's really marketing or advertising anything. It's like, it's kind of come out of nowhere, like a really awesome video you find out of, on Pornhub. Like, it's not like you were really particularly looking for it, but it's popped up, and that's fantastic, and that's a bonus. One question Hayden Christensen was actually asked about was his potential intention, I want to say, of maybe playing Batman or Bruce Wayne, possibly, one day. Again, it's being said that Star Wars Anakin Skywalker actor Hayden Christensen said that he would portray a better Bruce Wayne for DC than he would Batman. Hayden Christensen's new GQ magazine interview, he said that he would portray a better Bruce Wayne than he would Batman, and he praises Robert Pattinson's Batman. Again, there's a whole entire little interview thing going on here, which hopefully I'll be able to show obviously right now.
What if Hayden Christensen was cast as Batman, Bruce Wayne in The Batman? Batman is a great character, but I think that Robert Pattinson did a really great job.
If you had to play that, do you think you could play Bruce Wayne or Batman better?
Oh, it's the dichotomy of the character. I don't know. You gotta have one and the other. Probably more Bruce Wayne.
But again, we've heard the Batman question be asked a ton with a bunch of different actors, of course, as of late. Again, there's a ton of guys who could be playing Batman in James Gunn's new Brave and the Bold movie in the new DCU universe. A ton of actors here and there I've seen. Of course, the one I would very much like to see is Jake Gyllenhaal. I think Jake Gyllenhaal is one of the greatest actors of all time. There are genuinely people out there right now who would have him as a top 10 already. And I think by the time his career is done, I wouldn't be surprised if he is solidified in that top 10. The craziest part of Jake Gyllenhaal is he's like only 43 or 44. This dude is extremely young. It's because he's been acting for so long and has just done so many great and elite movie roles. Again, he was asked about whether or not he wants to play Batman. Winston Duke, who's literally a black actor from fucking Black Panther, obviously looks nothing like Bruce Wayne at all. Mainly because, of his big beard. Not because he was black, but I mean, that too. Again, I love Winston Duke as an actor. He probably won't be Batman or Bruce Wayne, but he has showed his interest. The big one who I think they genuinely might go with is Glenn Powell. It was being said a bit ago that DC are looking for a potential B-lister or A-lister to play some of the other iconic DC characters, considering most of the characters in Superman are played by like fucking G-list actors who are obviously on the rise, which I'm very fine with. I mean, David Corenswet, have you seen that man as Superman? He's got more veins than were on my penis than when I'm excited to see a Natalie Portman video. I'm just trying to say the dude works out. Like, he's veiny and he looks pretty fucking jacked. But I guess the intriguing possibility now is, could we see Hayden Christensen as Batman or Bruce Wayne? Do we want to see Hayden Christensen as Batman / Bruce Wayne? I have a couple issues. First of all, I think Hayden Christensen, his role as Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader is so iconic that not only I think he should just probably continue to play him and him really only, but also one thing that might stop him from potentially being Batman or having another big role is his commitment to Star Wars. We have to remember that if Disney is smart and they stop making shit like the fucking Acolyte, there are projects like a potential Darth Vader movie / TV show, hopefully a movie, sitting right there that they could make anytime. And obviously Hayden Christensen would be doing it. There's a whole comic book series of Darth Vader. Anakin Skywalker's transition into Darth Vader over like the first 5 years. And we see the depression and the mental side of things that he has to go through of losing Padme, losing his best mate, obviously Obi-Wan. All of that type of stuff, right? And those comics are like some of the best comics, I believe, to be seen, especially for Star Wars. And it would just work so well as an adaptation for a film. So again, considering a project like that is waiting right there, we know Ahsoka Season 2 is happening. Again, tons of other projects, of course, down the line that could obviously one day revolve Hayden Christensen in. It makes me think that such a big franchise like Batman and DC, they're going to want these actors' full commitment. They've got David Corenswet's full commitment for Superman. They've got Nicholas Holt's full commitment for Lex Luthor. I don't know if Anakin Skywalker, aka Hayden Christensen, can not only do a Batman movie, but probably play Batman at least once or twice a year with the amount of projects they're going to be doing, as well as play Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader in a Vader movie. Of course, in Ahsoka Season 2, all that type of stuff, right? Again, I don't know, he doesn't really have to do anything to be Vader, but if they're going to make a Vader movie, there's probably going to be a ton of Anakin Skywalker things. Anakin Skywalker speaking and him being without the mask on, like the makeup we saw in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. All of that type of stuff, right? I can't see this happening. I also don't think he'd be a good fit. Again, I do still have question marks on Hayden Christensen as an actor. I think he did really well as Anakin in number 3, not necessarily number 2. I think he was really awesome in the movie Jumper, if you guys haven't seen that movie. And he's done a couple other good things. But for the most part, some of his acting is touch and go. And I also find it weird he said he would play a better Bruce Wayne than he would the Dark Knight, considering if we're going to compare Bruce Wayne to Anakin, who a lot of people call him awkward as Anakin, but then compare Batman to Nightfall Anakin, Nightfall Vader, that he was a lot better at, I would think it would make a lot more sense for him to be Batman than it would be for him to be Bruce Wayne. But I don't know, he seems to disagree with that, which is pretty interesting. I wonder if he will go for the role. I mean, what a fucking gigantic thing that would be to play Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, and Batman. Like, if we're going to be looking at, like, if I had to think of 4 fictional characters that come to the top of my head, I think of Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, and Darth Vader. They're probably the 4 biggest fictional characters I think probably to ever exist, other than maybe Pikachu. That little yellow motherfucker is super famous. But obviously those 4 fictional characters are so famous, their movies and projects consistently do well. Yeah, to be like 2 out of the 4 would literally put you above legendary status, would it not? You imagine telling a kid, I'm Darth Vader and Batman. What the fuck? But of course, I'd very much like to know all of your thoughts and opinions down below. Do you guys think that Hayden Christensen would be a good Batman? Would he be a good Bruce Wayne? All of the above, I'd very much like to know. Subscribe to my sports channel, my IRL/vlogging channels. Links for them be in the description down below. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.